Hello, how are you glowing? This is take two. Anyway, I made it through the first day of school, like back to school and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about this while I had some time to do this. But as you can see from the title, it's all about how a DM, yes, direct message on Facebook, saved my marriage. My life, because it saved my life, it saved my marriage. So long story short, going through these transitions of churches, and I grew up in church with my dad. So after growing up in church with my dad in my 20s, I was like, okay, it's time for me to move on because I need some spiritual growth. I just knew that I needed growth, like there was something more tugging at my heart that I needed. So I was going to this church, and there was a specific young lady that was on the praise team doing worship, and she was so bold and confident in what she was doing. I felt like this connection with her, even though I never personally got to talk to her. I just felt something every time she sang, every time I saw her, just the way she carried herself. And we're the same age. I just felt this connection with her. So the church started going through something where they had to relocate from the building that they were at. And during the transition, like the relocation of the church, a lot of the members didn't go over to that new church, and she was one of those people. So after, a month or two of going to the new location, I felt another tug to move on to another church. Like it was just time for me to move forward because I still wasn't getting what I needed. Like I knew I wasn't getting what I needed. And that's a sign that when you're not getting what you need, you have to know when to move on. Like for me, it took me a long time. But once I made that big leap from leaving my father's church to going to another church, I knew I could do it over and over. But when you feel the tug to move on, you feel the need for change, do it. But I noticed at the new location that she wasn't attending anymore. A lot of the members weren't attending anymore. So I was wondering why. But later on, come to find out, the church had the leaders of that church, their family, they had a lot of scammy stuff going on. So, but I eventually messaged her. I contemplated on it for like 2 weeks, a week and a half or 2 weeks to message her, because still at this point we had not connected. We didn't know each other personally. So I sent her a message, and I was just like, hey, what church did you go to? Blah blah blah. So she told me about the church, how great it is. And I think that was like a weekend. I messaged her, and that Sunday I went and visited the church. So and from that night forward, I have been there ever since. This was September 2016. I had just had my third baby, my daughter. So she was only a couple weeks old. And I was just going through so much, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like I was just ready for change. And I knew that for me, I needed to be in the right church. And because I'm a huge believer in God, and when you're going through this journey of change and trying to change your life and stuff, I just honestly feel like God is the only one that can really help you do that before people. God will connect you with the people that you need in your life, but he has to do it first. So I attended church the first Sunday, and ever since that night, my life had completely changed. Like I had never felt God the way that I did. I never felt the presence of God. I had never been around people that worshiped and just did things the way that they did. And I just felt something that night. And ever since that night, I have been attending the church. Now, how did this message, just asking her where she goes to church and attending another church, change my marriage? Because being in that church, I knew that I was going to get what I needed. And my eyes just opened up even more. Everything was just really being shown to me, like what I was going through. And because of my personal reasons, I was about to end my marriage. At this time when I started going to this church, September 2016, I had already had a plan, throughout my entire pregnancy and everything. Tax time, I was going to leave my husband. I was going to divorce him. So here we are, September. I'm waiting about 4 to 5 months for tax season to roll around in 2017, and I was out. $400 to get a divorce. I was like, okay, I'm going to get me a place. I'm going to get a car, and then daycare. I'll be straight. I just need that little boost financially. So let me tell y'all how this changed. So once I started attending this church, my heart started to change. Like, there were marriages planted in that church that were so strong. It was just like, God was like, there's no way that you're about to get a divorce. Like, my husband wasn't doing anything bad to me, y'all. It was just me mentally. I'm like, I don't need this, okay? That was my way of getting out. Just, okay, divorce. And my heart changed all because of this church, all because of my leader, Prophet Dumereau, Jean Marie Dumereau. They are African. I love them to death. They are my mama and my papa, spiritual mother and father. And even their marriage alone, like, heals other marriages without even, they don't have to say anything. They don't have to pray for you. You don't have to get counseling with them. It's like, just their marriage alone, the way that they model marriage and relationship in Christ, it was just like, you know, I'm about to be like her as a wife. You know, that's how it was for me. And that's how my marriage was saved. Like, I reached out. And sometimes when you don't make necessary moves, you end up ending something that in all reality is good for you. Because like I said, because I was going through these personal issues and I just didn't understand myself and my life, I felt like my husband was playing a part in that and I needed to get rid of him. So I was trying to get rid of everything that just I felt wasn't benefiting me. But in all reality, my mindset was like killing me. Like, it was so toxic that I couldn't see beyond what I was really going through, and I was just trying to eliminate everything and everybody out of my life. And that's not the moves that you want to make when you are going through something like healing, when you're trying to heal from brokenness and all kind of things. You don't eliminate people. What you do is you ask God to guide you and show you, and also ask him to bring the people that you need in your life. So at this time, when I felt this need to ask her where was she going to church at, that was God. Because God knew that once I sent this message and I started attending this church, that a lot of the things that I was trying to do personally in my life, in my marriage, and all kind of stuff, just thinking about myself, was not going to be good. So God always directs us, you know, like when we allow him to, when we listen, really, when we're obedient and we listen to what we're feeling. When we listen to what we're feeling, we will move. A lot of people, this is what I did for a long time. I was so like complacent and so fearful of making moves that I was sabotaging myself. And then when I finally got a grip on what was causing all these problems in my life, I was like, OMG. So just that one message, like just asking her where does she go to church at, changed everything for me. It saved me. It saved my marriage. Has it been easy? No. But I'm still here, and me and my husband have come a long way. You know why? Because I have come a long way. People feel like after marriage, like it's supposed to be all rainbows and cupcakes and glitter, and that's not the case. And we tend to forget why, like the reason why we got married. You know, even though I got married, I was still broken and stuff, going through things. You know, I love my husband. I genuinely do. He's a great person, and I know he's the person for me. But I was trying to let all of that go because I didn't understand myself. So community is important. Like, you cannot go through things by yourself. If that was the case, I don't think God would have us get married. I don't know. We wouldn't have children. Like, if God intended for us to do everything by ourselves, what would the world be like? Like, he didn't do anything. Jesus didn't do. Like, God had his son, Jesus, and Jesus had disciples, and God used many people in the Bible to accomplish what he needed to have done, and he's still doing that today. So if God intended for us to do things by ourselves, like, I can't even imagine what the world would be like. But we need people. And I could have easily got in my own head at that time and not listened to what I needed, like not listen to what was going on or pay attention to what was going on, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I could have easily said, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna message her. I don't know her like that. I could have been thinking about, what is she gonna say? She might not respond back. Like, you start to think about the what ifs and what would happen if, and it's mostly bad most of the time. So I could have done that because I was dealing with low self-esteem and all kind of stuff. So I could have been like, I'm not going to reach out. This is probably why it took me so long to even reach out to her. But then I eventually just got over it because it wouldn't leave me alone. Like, just the thought of sending her a message and asking her where she goes to church at never left me. From the day it entered into my mind, it never left me. So usually when things like that happen for me, I have to do it. Because if I don't do it and I let time go by and time go by and time go by, I'm going to regret it, which is going to put me in a place that I said I don't want to go back to. Because if I get into regret because of decisions I made and things that I didn't do that I know I should have done, then what happens? I get back in my own head. I start to feel some type of way that I can't seem to comprehend, and not understanding that it's my fault because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So this one direct message to she wasn't a stranger, but we didn't know each other, saved my life in my marriage. So if you feel prompted to make a move or reach out to somebody or do something that you know could save your life, could save your marriage, could save your finances, could save your children, could save your family, could save generations, do it. Do it, and do it now. Don't wait. Don't put yourself in a position of regret or what if I did this. Don't even ask a lot of questions. Just do it. And trust that God will work it out for you. This one message to someone that I did not know has caused my life to do a complete 360. And not just for me, for my marriage. Like, as I think about decisions that I was about to make in the past, like, I would have been affecting my husband, my children, plans, like future plans that I'm not even aware of yet, like just things for my life. Like just this one direct message has, could have broken a curse of marriage. Like, marriage is ending. Like, that's going on in this world today a lot. Like, marriages are ending left and right over stupid stuff, and we don't understand, like, that if we need help, we need to reach out to people. Simple. I didn't reach out to her for her help. I reached out to her because I wanted to know where she was going to church, and just that one simple question saved everything. So I hope you got something out of this video. Just think about your choices. If you need community and you need people, you need to get around the people that you know that you need. Seek out the resources. What is it that you want to do? What is it that needs to change in your life right now, in your marriage or for your children? Find those resources or communities. There's a church out there that provides things like this. There is so many things out there that can provide the help that you need, can provide the community that you need. Maybe you need to get out and talk to people. Go I don't know, just do whatever you have to do to save whatever it is that you know that you need in your life before you make the wrong decisions and just sabotage everything, not only for you but for your children. It's not just about us anyway. You could sabotage something that God has for you. Like, that's the worst. So let me go, because this is like the third time. This is my third video because my phone keep running out of space. But remember to glow, remember to affirm yourself, remember to do what makes you happy. I hope you got the message out of this video. Don't sit around waiting for things to happen for you. You have to get out there and make it happen, especially if you're going through a time in your life where it seems dark. Like, that's where I was still going through kind of a dark time in my life. And I wanted to get out of the darkness and into the light. Like, I needed to be in the light. I was tired of being in the darkness, and my darkness was about to just mess up everything for me. And even now, here we are 2 years later, God has shown me so much that my marriage is gonna do for people. Like, my marriage and my testimony alone is gonna heal so many other people. My personal testimony is gonna heal so many other moms and women and young girls. Like, so imagine if I went through with the divorce. I would have still had a testimony, but I would have been saying it would have been worded differently. But, you know, that's just the message, that the vision that I'm trying to show you. Like, just move when you know it's time for you to move. Don't stay in something that is uncomfortable. Like, if it's sabotaging your life, don't stay. Now, if it's uncomfortable but it's good for you, like it's required to get where you need to be, then stay. But if it's sabotaging you and making you feel like you're just where you don't want to be, you need to move. You need to move. So if you need to send someone a DM, do it. That DM could save your life. That direct message on Instagram or Facebook could save your life. Stop thinking about what this person gonna say. Even if you don't know them, stop thinking about what they're gonna say. Just reach out and say, can you help me with this? Or, I noticed that you do this. Can you help me with this? Or, I noticed you go this place. Or, where did you get that from? Or, where did you get this help from? Do it. Do it. Okay? Stop trying to do everything by yourself and figure everything out on your own. No. Dang, that's a testimony. That's a message for me, because that's how I was. I just tried to do everything on my own. I tried to handle everything on my own, fix everything on my own, just to be disappointed in the end. So I dare you, if you have had that on your mind, to reach out to somebody, or you know you need to reach out to somebody, and your only way to do that is through a direct message to a complete stranger. Do it. You never know what could happen. It could save your life. It really could.